Hi, Brett Warner, candidate for Lucas County Sheriff. I am the only candidate currently employed by the Lucas County Sheriff's Office as a deputy. Thank you for joining us in our series of videos specifically designed to share with you information about me to hopefully convince you that I'm the best candidate for the job. Tonight's topic, drugs. A topic that I've been looking forward to talking to you about. If you've missed any of our previous videos, please go to warnerforsheriff.com and you can see all the different topics and all the different videos that we've done. But again, back to tonight's topic, drugs. Drugs is a topic, a very hot topic that people often want to talk about. In one of my earlier videos, I spoke to you about what the main job of the Lucas County Sheriff is. The main job of any sheriff is to operate a county jail. So when we talk about the Lucas County Jail, what is in the Lucas County Jail? Inmates. And why are most of those inmates there? A majority of the inmates that are in the Lucas County Jail are there specifically because of drugs. Whether they were buying, selling, or using drugs, it is one of the main reasons that people end up in jail. They're arguing or fighting over drug territory. There's all kinds of reasons why, but a majority of the arrests lead back to drugs in some way, shape, or form. And since this has been the biggest part of my career, doing drug prevention, I want to talk specifically about that. Everybody says, let's lock up the drug dealers. I am all for locking up the drug dealers. In fact, I encourage officers to do everything they can to try to find the people who are trying to sell those drugs to people. But I have taken the stance for many, many years that we are never, ever going to win the war on drugs. We are never going to stop the drugs from coming into our country, and we are never going to arrest all the people that are out there selling the drugs. Therefore, I truly, honestly believe in my heart that there's only one way to combat the drug problem, and that is to educate the youth of our community, to make sure that they are given the information that they need to succeed in life. And this is what I've spent most of my career doing. Going into classrooms, going into scouting groups, going into any group, any organization, anytime I can to try to educate young people about the dangers of drugs and violence. And how do we do that? We give them information. Knowledge is power. We all know that knowledge is power, and our goal is to always try to give those kids every tool to do the job. And so we give them as many facts and information about drugs that we can. The programs that I use specifically focus on the scientifically proven facts of drugs that are never going to change. You want to make sure that they know that. You want to make sure how they affect the brain, how they affect the body. You want to make sure how it affects their social life. I've started to talk about that more in the past few years than ever before because of the amount of social activity that the younger people are doing nowadays. And so you have to talk about all those things, but then you really have to focus on the biggest thing. And the biggest thing is peer pressure. You can give them all the information in the world about how drugs are bad, what it can do to you, why you should stay away from them. But if you don't prepare them to deal with peer pressure, you're not going to be successful at making them be successful. And so you have to understand that peer pressure is not a if, it's a when. It's a when will it happen. And if you're an adult sitting there watching this, ask yourself, when's the last time you dealt with peer pressure? 2 weeks ago for this 53-year-old, 2 weeks ago. All right, it's part of life. It exists. It's always going to happen. And so you have to be prepared for it. And I believe that by educating the youth, this is how we fight the drug program. I constantly hear people say, drug education, drug awareness, programs like DARE don't work. I would strongly encourage you to think about this when you say that. And that is, there is no way that you can do a study. No study can ever be done to find out how many young people chose not to do drugs because of a program or because of information that they were given. That study can't be done. All right, so, and also please be aware of a lot of the studies out there are throwing statistics out at you. Statistics can be twisted. All statistics are twisted. The biggest statistic that people throw out when they say that drug prevention doesn't work, they say that since drug prevention programs started in the 80s, there's more people smoking now than ever before. That statistic is absolutely true. What part have they left out? They left out the population part of that equation. Our population obviously is much, much different. So are there more people smoking? Sure. Are there a lot more people? Yes. If you look at the real statistics, you'll find out that there are fewer young people starting. Why? Because we believe that they've been given the information that they need to be successful. The other big argument that people say is, well, when you do programs like this, you just make kids curious. No, we're not making kids curious. We're not telling them things about drugs that are going to make them interested in doing it. These programs are not a how-to program. They're anything but. These are programs specifically designed to share with them the tricks that people might try to use on them to get them to try it. Again, back to that peer pressure. Educating our youth is the key to dealing with the drug problem in our community. We can fight the war on drug. I really, truly want to lock up those drug dealers. But we have to focus on educating the youth. And I believe that as sheriff, I'll be given the opportunity of a lifetime, something that I've dreamed of for many, many years, and that is to create more drug education in our community. And the more drug education that we create for the youth of our community, the more successful we're going to be. I could go on about this for a long time. It's something I'm very passionate about. And as sheriff, I will use that opportunity to try to increase the drug education that's happening in our community. And if you've had anybody in your life, and you know, if you have, you know what addiction is like. My goal in life is to try to keep addictions from our lives, to try to make sure that we reduce the demand for drugs in our community. If you have missed any of those other ones, please go to wonderforsheriff.com. I want to encourage you to like us on Facebook, follow us on we got a YouTube channel. There's all kinds of, wonderforsheriff.com has all kinds of great information about our campaign. And you can donate to our campaign if you feel the need. And thanks for joining us tonight. And please join us for our next video.